Hello everyone, this is Mark Flopsy Shepherd once again, and welcome back to the NeoLemmix Introduction Pack 2020 edition. In the previous video, we did the first 6 levels of the Objects and Functions rank, where we, hold on a minute, learnt how to use fast forward, learnt about time limits, learnt about the sides of a level, learnt about steel and how to use clear physics mode, touching more on clear physics mode, and how to read what traps are, and one-way arrows. So now we are on to Objects and Functions 7, where we the level's called Set Your Priorities Right. I'm guessing this is where we learn how to use the arrow keys to and other things probably. Well, I'll find out. 24 lemmings, 24 to be saved. Want to assign a skill to a lemming facing a certain direction, press and hold left arrow or right arrow. So if you hold the left arrow down, this crosshair will only catch lemmings which are going in the left hand direction. Pressing the blue arrow buttons with the desired direction will also do the trick. Just don't forget to unselect these when you're finished. Didn't know that. Never actually tried using the taskbar buttons, so it's nice to know that. Pressing and holding Control Left, Control Right forces the game to select a walking lemming inside your cursor. Useful if you don't want to select the digger inside a digger pit, for example. You can combine this with the directional select mode. Didn't know that. So that's something I've learnt there. Control Left and Control Right. Levels may begin with some pre-placed lemmings which are active straight away. These lemmings can already have permanent skills assigned to them. Okay, so there's quite a lot going on in this level already. So as you can see, look, these are actually pre-assigned floaters. And these are just pre-assigned lemmings. Well, I could see that lemming was facing to the right, but if I was to do this properly, I'm holding directional select right now, and notice how the crosshair will, and you'll see the arrow on the crosshair when you're holding the arrow down. So notice how when I got right selected down, that will not capture the lemming, but if I have it, if I'm not holding anything down, it will show it anyway. But if I have left held down, it will show it. So we want left directional select here. So there we go. And this is probably a very good example of how it uses the control left feature. That is a very useful function actually. Notice how it's not locking onto the digger at all. And if I did, it would be showing the digger. Yeah, look. So this is what happens when I hold control down and the arrow. And this is what happens if I'm not holding control down, it selects the digger instead. So that's good to know. Bit of a poor use though of pre-assigned lemmings though, because I don't see how the floaters come in handy. Actually, I can see it now actually. Yeah, I can actually see how the floaters come in handy there, because it is actually a hazardous drop there, and I was very lucky that the digger pit actually just held there at 1 pixel when he fell back in, so he could hit the bottom of the digger pit and then fall again. Okay, so we're on to Objects and Functions level 8. I can't remember who made this tile set. Is it a tile set by TanXDX? I think it is. Okay, pick them up and push them down. This looks like it's touching on pickup skills. Something that's actually been featured in original Lemmings games as well. Lemmings 3 and more recently the PS3 version of Lemmings really touched on pickup skills. Not many people have played that one. Or Lemmings 3 for that matter. So 20 lemmings, 15 to be saved. Sometimes the exit is locked and your lemmings need to first push down all buttons in a level to open it. Well, the unofficial name for unlock buttons is WAFLEMs, but it's only because WAFLEM made a lot of levels which used unlock buttons. I'm not sure if people still use that term though. These buttons are normally in a red colour and turn green upon activation. Some tile sets deviate though, and you may resort to clear physics mode to locate them all. Pickup skills are skills that need to be collected by your lemmings to add them to your skill bar. Just move a lemming through their trigger area to collect them. Oh shoot. I accidentally clicked then, sorry. Oh, it's not showing the text again. That is bad. Okay, there it is again. I had to back out to the main menu to get it. Now push down all buttons and collect them. Oh, I didn't even need to read the rest of it. So these buttons here, look, are what you need to unlock the exit. And this is a skill. Unfortunately, it doesn't tell you what the skill is, so you have to be able to see what the picture is. And these are very bad pickup skills because it's very hard to see the builder bridge there. Because that could be a platformer, a stacker, or a builder. Okay. That exit's got a nice animation. I like that. So we need to pick up these pickup skills because they're obviously builders, and it's pretty obvious they're builders as well because pickup skills will not appear as any skills which are not on the taskbar here. So theoretically, the pickup skills could only be diggers, bashers, or builders because they're down here. But I'm guessing because we haven't got any builders, they're most likely to be builders. I'm taking a bit of a simple route here. I'm just being a bit on the safe side because I'd rather not mess up these levels just by being a bit just jumping into levels and just multitasking. Because I could have just sent diggers down this way and I would have sent them down this way as well. But there's no need for any of that. So did you hear that sound then? That meant you pressed the last button. It sounded like a door creaking open. Okay, I didn't realise those books were part of the terrain as well. That's what clear physics is for. So we have to bash through the globe and the rows as well. Is that a globe? Yeah, it is a globe apparently. That basher could have carried on going through that builder if I was unlucky enough. So I'm just using fast forward to speed up the assignments a bit. I'm not using the space. Well, I did use the space bar just then, but we're not being taught how to do that yet. So we're just using fast forward at the moment. I'm only using things that I know how to use at the moment by definition of the introduction pack. Well, technically I shouldn't even be backstepping, but because I haven't been taught that, but I think we can appreciate the ones where you're going backwards, can't we? I've got fast forward on. You can see when it's on down there when it's highlighted. I'm just pressing the F key to activate and deactivate it. My traditional stance when I'm playing NeoLemmix is I have my right hand on my mouse and I have my left hand on the keyboard. So, one for each hand, you know what I mean? Okay, objects and functions 9. Split and splat. 60 lemmings, 40 to be saved. Sometimes you can be unsure if a fall is survivable or deadly. Press and hold D to bring out the splat fall ruler. Okay, I'm guilty of using this before we've actually been introduced to this, but I was actually talking about it in the first rank. Probably was kind of the cause of how I ended up getting a half-an-hour video because I was talking about things we shouldn't really be talking about. It measures a 64 pixel fall. Also, if a fall is just as long or even longer than this ruler, it is deadly and should be avoided. But technically the ruler's not even 64 pixels long, so you should probably reword that a bit. Splitters will alternate turning a lemmings around to the left and to the right. For example, if a lemming coming from the left was not turned around by it, then the next left facing one will be turned around for sure. Splitters cannot be deactivated. Now can you avoid all the deadly falls here with all the splitter chaos? So this is what he's on about here, this thing. I actually have to hold down the D key to keep it on though, which is annoying. And Ico2lot's saying that this whole ruler is the splat fall, but I think that's not the case. Because you could easily be fooled into thinking that's survivable when it's actually not. Because I told you that marker at the top is actually the marker for climbers falling off walls and surviving. It's actually that pink line that you've got to be focused on, that one that's second from the top. I would point it out with my cursor, but unfortunately the ruler moves with the cursor. So you just have to look at it and look at that line that's pink and is second from the top. And it's like just a little bit down from the top. And there's another one that's like 2 below it and it's like brown, but I'm not sure what that one's for. Anyway, let's start the level. Droning on a bit too much. So, by definition, we already know that this is not a survivable drop. And if we get our splat ruler out again, this is not a survivable drop either, but that one is because it's between the two. It's less than the pink line. So we need to... Losing quite a lot of lemmings to this, aren't we? And that one is survivable, luckily. That one's not though. Luckily we're having less lemmings splatting now because they're all going off into their litter. They're all splitting off into different quadrants of this level. So we just need to do that one because that one's smaller than the splat ruler. So the level's solved now. We only needed 4 splitters in all. So this was just a good level where it showed it, but I think you need to reword it and make sure that you're referring to the pink line rather than the whole thing. But it's just the way I read it. If it's actually correct, then my apologies. So as you can see, look, the splitter alternates left and right each time a lemming goes through it. So a lemming will be directed in the direction it's pointing in. So if the lemming's going the same way as it's going, it will just carry on walking. But if it's pointing in the opposite direction to where it's walking, it will turn around. So that's my way of explaining it. But that wasn't what I was actually getting at. The bit I was getting at was the fact that you said the splat ruler was the whole length of a splat height fall. Okay, beam them over. Objects and functions 10. 30 lemmings, 20 to be saved. Teleporters teleport lemmings to their designated receiver when they walk into their trigger area. They can only handle 1 lemming at a time though. Teleporters are usually recognisable by their in sign and receivers by their out sign. Yeah, you can't use the word usually because it's actually been an enforced rule now that you've got to have an in and an out sign on your teleporters and receivers. So unless you're saying that some people make their in and out signs not very recognisable. To clearly see which teleporter belongs to which receiver, you can count on clear physics mode again. Zoom out with the mouse wheel, activate clear physics mode and hover over the teleporter of your choice to get exact info on where it leads to. I actually don't have zoom out assigned to my mouse wheel because unfortunately I found it too annoying, so I've actually reassigned it to the number pad. The down arrow on the number pad and the up arrow on the number pad, but because my number pad now is actually within my keyboard, I've actually got to press a number lock button to get that to come up. So it's not always the best choice. Choose the right teleporters here, avoid the traps and collect the pickup skill so you can reach the exit. Okay, so these ones that say in, these teleporters, they'll go through into these teleporters and they'll come out of the teleporter. So we'll bring up clear physics mode. So as you can see, if you point at a teleporter, you'll see another one in the level which is down here where it's an out one. And that means they'll come out of this one. And that one, it goes to a trap, unfortunately. That little gunner thing. So we don't want to use that one. So we'll go to this one that says A. So this one's quite hard to see. So I'm going to zoom out a moment. And it's still not showing. So I'll zoom out again. Right, so we can see it's down there now. So I'll zoom back in. And that one just takes us to another load of teleporters. So just turn number lock off and physics off quickly. So we need to go through the left one. So as you can see, look, the teleport will slowly feed the lemmings through. So each time you hear that noise, one lemming's gone through the teleporter. And the direction they are facing when they go through the teleporter will be the same direction they come out in. So as you can see, he was facing to the left, that lemming was facing to the left, and that lemming was facing to the right. So, alright, so we'll go back to our clear physics thing. That will just take you to a dead end. So we don't want to go through that one, because we haven't got any builders at the moment, so it would be impossible to get the lemmings out. D, so we need to zoom out again. I want to zoom right out to see this one. It's actually that one up there. Okay, so this level's a bit too large to do something like this, but so they're going to come out of this one. So we need to do a little bit more of the skills. Need to do a little bit more skills this time. Oh, I hate it when NeoLemmix does this. I really do. It depends on what speed you're doing the pointer at. So when lemmings dig into steel, you'll hear a chink noise, which means they hit the steel and they stopped. So we just need one lemming to be walking to the left and pick up the skill, but I'm guessing because the teleporter will reject some lemmings and not send them through, they'll be picking up the pickup skill for us. So I'm not even going to see in clear physics mode, because I can clearly see that they've gone down here. So in this case, we just go to clear physics mode here, and I have to zoom out again. Okay, so that one takes us to a trap, so we don't want to dig down. Where's this one take us? It just takes us to that one to the left of us. Okay, so we've got to pick up skill at last now, and they've picked up that pickup skill up there, so it got added to our skill bar. Okay, this level's quite time consuming. Okay, let's start using some miners because it's taking. We haven't used any yet. Okay, so where are they coming out now? Okay, they seem to be coming out here now. J. Where's I? Where's that one go to? Just takes us back to the beginning again, that does. Because you can see that's where we started, look, and it's taking us back to the... So if we go through that left-hand one, we're just going to be going around in circles, so we just want to go through that right-hand one. Sorry I'm taking so long, it's just I have to keep pressing the number lock key because of the fact that that's where my zoom button's assigned to, so it's not very convenient for me. I really need to come up with a better way to assign those keys. Okay, so a lot of teleporting going on at the moment, as you can see, because we've got multiple teleporters being used now. Okay, so we're finally in the area now where the exit is, and because we picked up all pickup skills on the way, we've actually got enough builders to get the job done. But to be fair, I think it was impossible not to pick up the pickup skills because of where they were located, because there was one here, one here, one here, so they're in the vicinity of where the in teleporters are, so the lemmings will be jumping around all the time. So now we're just going to wait for the teleporter now to finish spitting out all the lemmings, and it's not taking too long, to be fair. That actually didn't take too long. It took a long time to execute that level. Okay, so I ideally want to get the next 2 levels done quite quickly, but I'm not going to rush them. But if this one takes a long time, then I'll probably just stop the video here and just get the last 6 done in the next video. It's only because of how long the last level took. So, Objects and Functions 11, Gravity Lab, 3 lemmings, 3 to be saved. Updrafts prevent lemmings falling through them and from splatting. Oh, okay. Updrafts prevent lemmings falling through them from splatting. They also slow down the fall of normal lemmings and floaters while they cause gliders to glide upwards again. So if you send a floater through an updraft, they'll go really, really slowly, but they will still fall to the ground. It's a handy thing to know. Splat pads make any lemmings that are not a floater or glider splat if they land inside their trigger area, no matter the distance they fell. Anti-splat pads let all lemmings survive if they land inside their trigger area. To see which object is which, you can rely on clear physics mode again. Let's see if you can figure out how to distribute the glider and floater correctly here. Okay, so what happens is, these are the updrafts here. Although it's not very clear they are updrafts because there's no word telling you there's an updraft, but if it's something blowing up, typically it's an updraft. Okay, so the music's finally looped again now, because this was the track played on the first level. Okay, so I think the correct way to do this is let the first lemming fall normally. Actually, I think the best way would probably be let the glider go first, because he's going to go through this section here. Let the second lemming fall normally, and let the floater... See how slow that floater goes, look. Actually, I might have to swap the order there. Make the second lemming a glider and the third lemming a floater, because this builder needs a bit more of a head start on the floater. That should be enough time. Yeah, see, the floater literally only just gets there. So the floater again is going to be really slow on this, so those lemmings will probably be neck and neck after this fall. No, they're actually not neck and neck. So this is the anti-splat pad here, if you're not familiar with it. So it's usually denoted by a red line. Some people have made anti-splat pads in other things, but if it says splat on it, doesn't matter how you fall on it. Even if that lemming walked off the bridge now and fell on it, he would splat. Look, I'll show you. Okay, is that even working correctly? Okay, that's weird. I'm just going to check if these lemmings fall on it, they're actually splat. Oh, it's because they're gliders. They can't actually. It's because it's a glider and a floater. They actually can't splat no matter what. Could actually be. So we're only doing this for the purposes of the lemming that's there, because despite the updraft being there to mitigate the fall, the splat pad overrides that. If that makes sense, and that's a good one, because the green one means that they will survive the drop no matter what. Now I can see why they use the fencer instead, because otherwise you could just bash through that wall there and it would just make the whole section pointless, wouldn't it? Okay, so I'm going to stop the video here, because it's, again, we're running into the 25-minute mark like the end of the last video. So thanks a lot for watching, and I shall see you in the next video, where I will be finishing off the objects and functions rank.